So if you want to get more leads for your coaching business, watch this video. We're gonna go over exactly how to create predictability. All right, this is something that a lot of people are lacking. They just like kind of do random stuff and they just kind of hope that leads knock on their door. They're like, oh, I'm interested. They're just hoping this happens. So you don't want to rely on that. You obviously want a predictable system. We're gonna go over obviously how to increase volume as well. So if you're getting, one book call a week, we'll go over how to 10x that, 20x that, so you can obviously scale your business. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Jack Bly. I founded a fitness coaching company in 2019, scaled it up to 100K a month, and my team runs it now, and I'm sharing what I've learned along the way. So let's jump right in. So when it comes to generating leads, the first thing you need to understand is what are actual lead generation activities. All right, a lot of people just don't understand that the basis of this is first principle. What actually generates a lead? All right, a lead is a person who's interested in your offer, right? They have some explicit interest. They might reach out to you. They might reply positively to a DM, to a content, to an ad, something that you're putting out into the world. So there's only three, mechanisms or vehicles for you to get leads. The first one's going to be content. All right, so you're probably aware of this. You can create content, and this will hopefully get you inbound leads if you're doing it correctly. All right. The second way is through outbound. So mainly, especially if you're an online coach, the main mechanism you're going to be using for outbound is going to be DMs, all right, social media direct messages. And the last way is going to be paid ads. So, paid ads you can run on basically every platform. There's a ton of different funnels and paid ads you can run. I really would not recommend paid ads unless you're doing at least 10, 20K a month, because it really just doesn't make the most sense when you're just starting out because you have no converting marketing message yet. And so unless you have a lot of capital that you're willing to invest into basically buying data, it's not worth it. All right, so those are the big three as far as lead generation activities. We have content, we have outbound, and then we have ads. Now, knowing this, that the first thing you need to do is volume. All right, just sheer volume. Now, what do I mean by this? And I mean you literally just need to do more. You're probably, if you're watching this, let's say you're creating some content, maybe you're creating one post a day, or if you're on a longer form platform like YouTube, maybe you're posting once a week or something. You just need to do more volume right now. Just do 10x more volume. All right, just do more of it. All right, and I'm gonna reveal why that's important in a moment. First of all, the more the more you do here, the more inputs you put out, typically the more outputs you're gonna receive, the more leads you're gonna get from it. All right, so it's a simple input to output equation. So if you do more of the activity that generates you leads, you're gonna get more leads, period. All right, so just do more volume. That's the first basic thing you can do is just ram more volume. Especially if you're a business under 50K a month, lead gen should honestly be your number one focus. You should just be focused on how can I get more people interested in my thing? How can I sell this thing more? That's it, that's your only focus right now. So do these lead generation activities and 10x your volume, just do more. That's the first step. Now, second step is vital. Or you might have already done step number one, you might be doing a lot of volume there. Let me preface this before we dive into number two here. Understand the amount of volume that's actually required for scale. I remember the conversation I had a while ago with a newer, online coach. I think he was in the fitness space. And I was talking about, okay, he's doing a little bit of outreach, he said. I'm like, okay, cool. How much, how many DMs are you sending out? He's like, oh, I sent out 100 the past month. And I'm just like, oh, okay. So definitely really, really low volume here overall. So you can't really tell anything from that. And he was kind of shocked at that. He was like, oh, I thought that was a lot. And you just don't realize how much is actually required for scale. So usually I would recommend not 100 a month, but 100 per day. That's a decent amount of volume to actually get you good data, good results overall. That's what I would recommend. And so realize the volume you're doing right now, the volume you think is high, is probably just not nearly as high enough. All right, go talk to someone who's doing 100K a month in your industry and see what volume they're doing. Go look at what volume. You can look at how many content they're producing, how many ads they're creating. You can look at their volume. All right, so that's the first thing. All right, understand volume and what is actually required. The second thing is once you have that volume, it's gonna be data tracking. All right, data tracking. This is the step that most people miss, especially newer businesses. If you're under 50K a month or so, you just don't realize that this is part of the game that you need to have. All right, I didn't realize this for a really long time. And I wish I did it because I would have had so much more data, so much better decisions, so much better systems because of it. So data tracking, what do I mean by this? So let's break it down. So for example, if you're creating content and you're randoming out content, you're doing that high volume of content, you need to track data. All right, specifically, you need to be tracking how specific pieces of content are performing. So for example, if you see one post generates you like 5 book calls from one post, you need to track that. You need to realize, okay, this post really resonated with the market and it resulted in 5 book calls or 5 qualified leads booking on your calendar. That is a very good sign. And so that tells you, hey, I need to do more content like this one because it produced the output that I want. All right, see with the data, you're searching for that cause and effect relationship. You're searching for what is the cause that gets you the effect that you want. All right, so you need to track data. If you're just creating content, you're just doing a ton of it, doing a ton of volume, it's okay. You're hopefully going to get some results. Again, if there's no data tracking, you could be way off. You could be way off. And you can also look at, what's the type of content that gets you no results? No one likes it. No one's engaging with it. And also, you get no leads. All right, look at the metrics, especially the metrics that are the outputs that you actually want. So if your number one goal is a business right now, likes and engagement isn't necessarily a good metric. All right, it's a decent metric. It can tell you something that, maybe the market resonates with something you're saying, but it's not the metric that you want. It's not like leads. It's not, revenue. It's not sales. All right, if your goal is a business, look at those metrics, the calls booked, the sales from that post. That's what's going to be the most important metrics for you. But this is number 2. This is the most important thing that you do right now. If you're not doing it, is data tracking, because data is king. You always want to make data-driven decisions in your business. Because what we can do next, once we have this data, is we can do number 3, which is iterated volume. Iterated volume. What do I mean by this? So you're already doing high volume. You start to track data now. So you see what's working, what's not working to get results. And now with iterated volume, you're going to be steering the volume that you're producing through whatever mechanism you're doing into basically the stimulus that was most effective, the cause that was most effective to get the effect that you want. All right, so let's say like if you're doing content again for this example, if you notice like 20% of your content is getting all the leads generated, do more content like that. Make that 20% the 80 or 90% of content that you produce. It's basically you're making a hypothesis based on data. You're saying, okay, if this looks like I got all leads, let me produce, let me make that 80% of the content I'm producing now, and let's see if leads like 5x. And you're probably going to experience a similar result to that. All right, you're probably going to experience that similar result. And so that's the game you want to play here. It's a game that most people are missing of data tracking and the iterative volume. Most people are just thinking, okay, maybe they understand the volume, maybe they even don't. All right, this is the game right here. If you can do this, you will win. You'll win, period. Because business is a game of data. The people who have the most data and who make decisions based on that data will win. All right, that's why, Google, they've been in business for, a long time, and they have the most data based on what is your searches. That's why when you type in Google, it'll literally like pop up what's the most popular, what's the most likely next word you're going to type in. And they know it because they have data on it. So that's the game. As the game, follow this process and you'll find yourself generating more leads because you're doing more volume and you're doing more iterated volume. And you're also going to have a more predictable system. Because when you track data, you get predictability. That's where predictability comes from. It's from the data. Because you can see exactly, okay, if I'm doing this input, I get this output. And so if you want to increase output, just do more input. And you can see the relationship directly when you have data. So that is a game. I hope this video really helped you in terms of generating more leads for your online business, because this is the process, the exact process I follow. If you are an online coach, you want one-on-one help to scale your coaching business. If you want to add 10, 20, 30K a month to your coaching business, that's exactly what we do. We license out our exact systems for lead generation, for sales, for everything A to Z to scale your business. Click the link below. If you're interested, we have an offer and we'll show you how it all works. So click that link if you are interested in scaling your coaching business. If not, thank you so much for watching. You're amazing. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.